WJ. Well, an unexpected place. India has become the pharmacy of the world, making everything from cancer drugs to cough syrup. Nearly half of America's generic medicines now come from there, and most made in factories that outsiders rarely see.
Senior investigative reporter Lisa Fletcher gives us a rare glimpse inside the global medicine pipeline from those who know it best, warning that a system that we're forced to trust may be putting us at risk.
Thousands of miles away from pharmacies we trust, Indian drug makers produce the medicines we need. What happens inside those plants is rarely seen.
Shocking inspection reports continue to roll in on a monthly basis.
For more than a year, we've followed the trail from FDA files to factory gates in one of India's pharmaceutical hubs. We obtained hundreds of pages of inspection reports and warning letters. Over and over again, we found the same pattern. Manufacturers cited for falsified data, filthy conditions, and incorrectly made medicines, all tied to the global pipeline that supplies many U.S. hospitals and pharmacies. Few know it better than Peter Baker, who handled overseas inspections for the FDA for years.
Are you surprised when I tell you that we found company after company concealing evidence, destroying documents, and obfuscating lab information?
No, I'm not surprised. That appears to be the norm rather than the exception. The problem that we have is we have high quality on paper, but poor quality in reality.
Is that leading to patient deaths?
Absolutely, no question.
We sent a crew to Telangana, one of India's hubs for pharmaceutical drugs and medicines sold in the U.S. Our investigation led us first to one of the biggest names in India's pharmaceutical industry, Aurobindo. From antibiotics to heart medication, Aurobindo supplies millions of doses to the United States every year. Outside one of their manufacturing plants, our cameras captured workers loading trash bags filled with shredded documents onto a truck. When staff discovered our crew filming, they ordered the footage deleted. It wasn't.
Does that incident raise alarm bells for you?
Absolutely. That's one of the first things that an FDA investigator will do during an inspection is go to the waste stream. More likely than not, the investigator is going to find documents in there that were relevant to a product that's intended to be exported to the U.S. that's going to demonstrate a problem with contamination, a problem with cleaning, a problem with sterility, or other issues that could cause serious adverse events.
He says scenes like this are warning signs of a deeper problem, paperwork that can't be trusted to prove a drug is safe. In less than a year, the FDA flagged Aurobindo's subsidiary, WJLA Pharma, 5 times. WJLA supplies injectable drugs to the U.S. A scathing warning letter revealed falsified records, adulterated drugs, and failure to perform necessary tests. The problems were so bad, the FDA said WJLA cannot ensure the safety, effectiveness, and quality of its drugs. Drugs that our research shows often reach U.S. hospitals and pharmacies.
Are the FDA actions having the desired effect?
I wish I'd say yes, but no, I don't think so, because if they were having the desired effect, you wouldn't see people shredding documents, making false representations. You would not see that.
Dinesh Thakur, a former executive at Indian drug maker Ranbaxy, blew the whistle on data fraud that led to one of the largest criminal fines in pharmaceutical history, $500 million. That was more than a decade ago.
You put it all on the line to expose it, and it seems like nothing has happened as a result.
I see the same behavior today among other companies. So then I have to ask myself, what has changed? Why is it that these companies continue to do this? And there are only one of two reasons. Either they look at it as cost of doing business, or they don't believe that they'll actually get prosecuted.
In fact, despite decades of egregious violations tied to deaths, illnesses, and injuries, only once since Ranbaxy has the Department of Justice pursued action against Indian pharmaceutical companies. Just last year, Natco Pharma, a key supplier to the U.S. for everything from cough syrup to chemotherapy drugs, had 2 recalls. And this summer, FDA violations for altering test results. And it doesn't end there. Dr. Reddy's, Zydus, and Granules all cited for violations for record keeping, from cheating critical tests to keeping inaccurate information and tearing up testing data.
What does that tell you when these problems keep occurring over and over again.
Is this model that the US FDA uses to enforce, our compliance with the regulations is broken.
For those who've seen it firsthand, the failures aren't abstract, leaving inspectors like Peter Baker to confront a harsh reality.
It's pretty demoralizing because you know that these products are going to be consumed by people across the world, not just in the US, that are not fit for human consumption.
We reached out to all of the companies. Only Granules responded, claiming there was no data destruction and that it had fixed record-keeping protocols. You can read their full response on WJLA.com.
Lisa, this is pretty scary to think about. Do we know how widespread the problems are, and then who is the most affected?
Scott, our sources, including former Inspector Peter Baker, believe it is pervasive. America is the largest consumer of generic drugs. Take atorvastatin. That is one of the most commonly prescribed generic cholesterol-lowering medications. In October, it was recalled for the 7th time since 2020 from a variety of Indian manufacturers for everything from putting the wrong pills in the bottles to the medicine being improperly made. Tomorrow night, we're going to follow the trail to its deadliest consequences: toxic medicine, children dying, and people being permanently damaged, all from a system that supplies U.S. pharmacies and hospitals.
Another eye-opening report, Lisa Fletcher.